Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. I kind of wanted to switch gears for a little bit, and I want to talk about something today that is definitely mortgage related, but is not so closely tied to some of the other things that I talk about. One of the things that I find myself doing on a daily basis, and quite frankly, I've gotten pretty good at over the last couple of years, is giving people guidance on certain credit situations. By no means am I a licensed credit repair expert or any of the fancy things that you hear. I don't charge people thousands of dollars for it. But over the time, I've learned kind of the tools of the trade in terms of credit repair. And I've been able to help people overcome a lot of derogatory items on their credit. That being said, there is a lot of things that you could do to prevent that. And specifically, I want to address one thing I've been seeing in several applications over the last couple of months, and that's derogatory items surrounding divorce. So I'm gonna step in here for a minute and kind of give good guidance here. And hopefully, God forbid, you're going through this type of situation, you will take this advice and you will use it to protect yourself during what is already a life-altering process that you're going through. There's a couple of things that I definitely feel strongly about, right? When you're going through a divorce, you definitely want to make sure, number one, that you're not just taking your name off of the deed. Just because you're taking off your name off of the deed doesn't mean that you're off of the loan. If you are on the loan with your ex-spouse, also know that that divorce does not end the responsibility of that joint debt from the creditor's perspective, right? So I'm in huge disagreement on divorce decrees when it says, hey, Joe has 6 months to take Susie off of the loan, right? First and foremost, a lot of people don't know mortgage qualifications. And a lot of times if you needed both of you to be on there to qualify, chances are you would need both of you to requalify. So that being said, at minimum, make the other person get a pre-approval up front. Make sure that refinancing is solid. Make sure you have an appraisal done. So that way you know that they have the ability to pull the equity out to give you, right? Making sure that person is qualified to remove you from that debt. Because guess what? The creditor does not care that your divorce decree says Joe Schmo is responsible. You're the one that signed for that. So until you are completely off of that loan and no longer a borrower, you're gonna be held responsible on your credit for that. And that can cost you years of credit down the road. It can cost you your future qualification. It can really, really hurt you. I would opt out of allowing them to wait 6 months, and I would try to force that to be done prior to the divorce being finalized, or at minimum getting a pre-approval and all that stuff before that, because that could just save you a lot of headache on the back end. I can't tell you the number of times where people come to me and say, like, I was supposed to be off of this loan 4 months ago and they just can't qualify, or I'm trying to make some magic happen, right? Because the person doesn't qualify and they're trying to get their ex-spouse out of it, or whatever the case may be, whichever side it's on. And that brings me to the other point, which I kind of hit on just a little minute ago, which is like divorce does not end joint debt. This is a person who you maybe experienced a lot of hate from that person, or there may be a lot of turmoil amongst you guys, high conflict, so to speak. That person may have the desire to make your life more painful. So in regards to other joint debt, right? Let's say car and credit card debt, right? Why would you give that person the ability to absolutely bomb your credit by leaving yourself on joint debt? Stick up for yourself, make a requirement that all joint debt be completely terminated prior to the divorce, and that will help protect you from someone racking up a credit card bill, letting it ride, because clearly if they don't care about their credit, they're not going to care about your credit either. And so that can really hurt you. Again, future qualifications, all that good stuff. But just know that the creditor doesn't care that they signed a document that says they're responsible. They're still going to hold you accountable. Definitely focus on that. And just remember, that divorce does not end joint debt as far as the creditor is concerned. And then the last part is future qualification for you, right? Not only can the derogatory events of someone not paying their bills that you're attached to, not only can it prevent your future qualification, but it can get in the way of you opening that next chapter right afterward. It's gotta be challenging enough to go through that, let alone with basically someone sandbagging your credit and making it look like you can't honor your debt obligations. Just keep that in mind. Try to have that mortgage refinanced, or at minimum have that person pre-approved up front. That way you know that there's a much better chance. Remember to end all joint accounts prior to, includes auto loans and credit cards. And then make sure that you do all of those things. That way you don't affect your future qualification moving forward. If you guys have any questions about the specifics of that, we're able to navigate some exceptions sometimes if it's documented correctly. But obviously, when people are documenting this, they're just trying to close the door and they're not thinking what ifs in their head. So if you're going to carry on joint debt post the divorce being finalized, please make sure that you have a plan. Please make sure you have proper documentation. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about any of that. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.